I kind of like not starting on time.
Why would we ever?
We're girls, and we left the kitchen, and we didn't know what time it was. That's the only place we can tell the time.
I'm about to say, yeah, there is a digital clock here, but I just want to put them
We
in the
don't
natural
read
setting.
that. We disregard it, JP.
If the clock isn't on a stove, we don't know what to do.
I tried my best to replicate it and put you on y'all's natural setting, but yeah.
You know what? If you could have just maybe hung some spatulas or spoons.
Tongs, because those are my favorite.
Tongs are her favorite. Wooden spoon is yours. But if you could just hung it. Anywho, we do what we want. I'm Amy Beth Shaver. She is Allison Sinclair. He is JP. And we are thankful for you joining us today. Thank you for the new follows that happened over the weekend because some of our reels are going crazy. Did you get a bunch of new friend requests?
Yeah, it's
so weird. Hi, everybody. How are you? We're in Alabama, but don't let that stop you. We're one of the reddest red states, and we lean into that information. But we also talk about national news a lot, which we'll do today. And so if you're new here, we say welcome. We are searching for the truth, offering hope, and figuring out what the heck we can do about it. So we have a little segment we like to do, the word of the day. We have Yammer, which is a quick look at the news from around the state and maybe beyond. We have montages. We interview people, and it's Monday, which means it's General Mayhem. Welcome.
That's every day, though.
It is every day, but I'd like to pretend that today, if it's your first time here, just look at the ticker, and that's really how we feel.
Did y'all get my text?
Yes.
That was really funny.
I should have looked to see where she was from, but she was like, y'all are getting a follow just because of your ticker.
Well,
we love you.
What's so funny is I remembered like that was a day one. Well, what should we put at the bottom? Okay, how about this? And just riffed like exactly. And it's been there since day one.
Listen, it was a takeoff of Pat McAfee, and he's a hoot. And he started on the YouTubes as well. And so that's mad respect to Mr. McAfee.
I got a question. Do you think we would like Pat McAfee?
No.
Oh, this is a good.
No.
We
because
would
we're
love
kind
him.
Of like him.
No, we would love him. We wouldn't just like him.
I don't know. I hear like Kirk Herbstreit one time told a story about how they were going to have to do a bunch of budget cuts and like a lot of the team of College Game Day was going to go away. And Pat McAfee took money out of his paycheck to keep them around. So like I hear stories like that he's a good guy, but also he does give off the vibe that he probably, I don't know, it seems like would be a bit of a jerk. Which did y'all see? This is kind of a funny segue. Did y'all see the clips from Riley Green on Theo Vaughn and everybody freaking out because like Riley Green was such a jerk, and everybody's been having like a wake up call like about Riley Green. But I feel like it would almost be the same way if like you see like who they are like in their persona, but then
I'm gonna need to see this.
Oh, it's
can
bad.
You pull up some clips?
Yeah, I'll pull up some clips.
I mean, are there cuss words?
No. We may get copyrighted because it's Theo Vaughn, but I can trim it out later.
Why?
Because it's from Theo Vaughn's podcast.
Yeah, but we play clips from podcasts as long as you give him like.
Yeah, I'll find a good clip.
Yeah,
or a montage of like. Oh, I saw a montage, but anyways, yeah, that just reminded me.
Listen, never meet your heroes. Ever. Never drive your dream car. Nothing's ever going to live up to.
Hold on.
But that's not true. They say that.
Okay, keep going. You're right.
You know, like there's exceptions to all rules. And so, but I do believe that there is a swagger to the music stars, and there is to athletes. I think Pat McAfee is no different than anybody else, but how often do you hear somebody taking money out of their wallet and paying for people? He was a kicker at West Virginia. Our daughter went to West Virginia, so mad respect for him. Also, if you know how to drive in West Virginia in those mountains, I like you even more. And if you can make it in and out of the Pittsburgh airport, kudos to you. So I love Pat McAfee. I think we'd be best friends.
Here's
I'm
one
convinced.
clip. Here's one clip from Riley Green's thing. I don't know which one this is, but here, this is it.
What if grandpas never did die? You ever think about that? Like, because there would be some side effects of it. I mean, there would obviously.
But there are problems. Like, if you want to just pick apart the songs that I write, we can. But no,
I'm not picking
no,
it
it's,
off, man.
I
I'm
wish
just
Grandpa's never
saying.
died. Yeah.
First of all, it's one of my favorite songs.
Thank
and
you.
second, what if Grandpa's
All right, so that's just unnecessary.
He's
There's a
just
lot of those.
defensive.
There's a lot of those.
Why is he so insecure?
Well, because he can't bring himself to admit that the life he's living is just, it's not real. And nobody, look, I learned this at North Carolina. All right. It's not real. The tour buses, the fussing over you, the luxury flights, getting whatever you want, whenever you want. That's not real. And so when somebody has you and is asking you questions about something that's near and dear to your heart, but in the land of, it's Pretendlandia, and somebody confronts you, you're like, what are you talking about, man? I'm awesome. Versus the rest of us who have to be accountable for our lives. And for example, when I talk about basketball, there were really precious, amazing parts of it. But if you just look at the glossy of it, that part's not real. Reality is down here. Accountability is normal. Somebody says, I'm just asking you about your song. He's not asking him to be defensive. He's asking him to think through the song with him and have a deep conversation. Riley's like, hey, man. Oh, it's like super defensive immediately. That's somebody who is not often held accountable. I'm sorry. At least that's the way it comes across. I could be very wrong.
I remember there was one, I can't find it on Twitter, but he was giving Theo like a really, really hard time about not having a coffee machine. And he was like, but he kept saying, he was like, I cannot believe you don't have coffee. He was like, are you freaking kidding me? And but like he was being, it wasn't like he was joking. And then, but yeah, it was, anyways. I knew y'all were Riley Grief fans. I didn't know if y'all had seen any of those clips going viral.
No, but don't. Yeah, I'm with you. Don't meet your hero. They're just people, and most of them are jerks. He probably, though, in his defense, you probably get kind of sick of yourself and sick of the same stuff. Mm-hmm. Like the same questions, the same answers, doing the same thing. And though you're addicted to the life, you probably hate the life and maybe hate yourself in some ways.
I think that's fair because he seems like, apart from that, a great guy. He does. But when you are fussed over that much, I think that anything beyond what you were expecting changes what you're doing. But
I know what this is. It just dawned on me.
What is it? Is it a prank?
No, this is beef over Ella Langley.
Yep, that was the other angle of it.
Oh, was that really out there?
That was out there, yeah.
This is Ella Langley beef.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is two boys
fighting over a girl.
Yeah, but I think one of them's not really that interested in her, and then the other one may actually be, but they're still trying to stake their claim and claim their territory. That's exactly what this is.
Mm-hmm. Ha! I bet it is.
Boys don't ever grow up.
No.
I need to know. Well, I know who's not interested anyway. I think it's both and. Beef over a girl you're fussed over in your life, and really what you want is to settle down and have a family. But if you settle down and have a family, you have to give up the life you've built. So he's probably in the middle of a total conundrum.
There's just that tension.
I bet we could get it out of him.
And you know that it probably, because he has that beautiful farm up in North Alabama, and he won't, I mean, I think that's like his home.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's stuck around home. So there is that pull in him that wants to be that grounded, real person. That's a lot of tension to live in. That's funny.
There was another part where Theo asked him about his dating life, and Theo was like trying to pay him a compliment and was like, because you seem like somebody that it wouldn't be hard to get a girl. And Riley Green goes, yeah, you would think, huh?
Oh, Riley.
I thought he had a girlfriend. Did they break up?
I think
they broke up.
Our mutual friend said that they broke up.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh gosh, y'all. I look red as my shirt. Sorry.
Look, we have some really sweet girls. Okay. But if you'd settle down and not leave the farm, we may let you date them. But you won't. And so in the meantime, you should come here and we'll interview you. And we'll get it out of you, and then we'll solve your problems.
I think he probably just needs a hug and like to touch grass
And
for a minute.
A hug, coffee, chocolate chip cookies, and
Apparently
bread.
lots of coffee.
Yeah.
But it's true. I
Sweet
identify
Jesus.
with the coffee snobbery, because if I go somewhere, like I went to a woman's gathering one time and there was no coffee, and I felt the same way. Like, what? You only have tea?
We even have coffee here.
What?
And
And this is one of my friends that I love, but I'm like, you can't not serve coffee. So like, I get it. The truth is the old me can very much identify with some of the things that Riley Green's going through.
We have coffee here, and then we still get extra coffee on the way in on top of the coffee.
It's coffee on top of the coffee. It's like going to the store. Your car is filled with groceries, but you're like, where am I stopping for lunch? You know,
Yeah.
back
Well,
when we could do those kinds of things.
I was just thinking.
I don't know.
As you can see.
We need more coffee. No, I was thinking
behind
we
me.
have coffee we can offer our guests. We
man.
even have
My sweater is making the dadgum cameras run.
a hot foamer.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you took out a word you always use in there, and I'm glad you did.
That's what it. We can make you lattes too. So we're way above. Come here instead of Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
We got you.
We're fun. We actually love Alabama like you do. And we would have a great conversation, and we would bake things for you, and we just sit down and let you talk.
Well, we could send this whole clip to somebody that could get to him real quickly.
Okay.
Mhm.
You try. Shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot. Speaking of,
Yes. What happened to you this weekend?
yeah, I just have to tell this squirrel story.
I was about to say, I want to hear the
Squirrel!
story.
Yeah, well, that's okay. So Jared's whole family was coming to the lake house, and I was just a little bit late. Shocker. But I walk into absolute like destruction in the house. They have all the dining room chairs lined up, building a wall. Okay, so the dining room is open, but they've taken all the chairs and built a wall, and it curves and it blocks off straight to the front door. And I'm like, what are you doing? I round the corner. Jared, who I guess had been outside, so he has on his swim trunks but no shirt, and he has a hacksaw and he's sawing through the wall.
No, he's not.
And I'm like, what are y'all doing? And his sister and his cousin are just standing there staring at him. I'm like, what is happening? There's already one hole in the wall, and it's at the bottom of the wall. And so he's making another hole in the wall halfway up. And then I hear it.
Oh, no. Did you hear this?
Oh, no. It was the loudest, giantest in the wall I've ever heard. And we were like, there's no way that's a squirrel. That has to be a raccoon or a cat. I mean, I don't know what why we thought cat. So Jared takes his phone and he sticks it through the hole to take a video. And as he sticks it in the hole, I guess it was like right here. It screams, runs off, and we're watching. We're trying to watch
Wait,
the video.
It screamed.
Yeah, you know, like
Oh,
a
gosh.
screech. But he was so close, it looked like a raccoon. So I'm like, holy cow, a raccoon's about to jump out of this. So then it kind of goes silent. I was really hungry.
Yeah.
And so I went to the kitchen to start eating. All of a sudden I hear screaming. And I grab my phone, I go around the corner. Well, what I missed was the squirrel leapt out of the wall onto the flower arrangement on the dining room table, is stuck in the flower arrangement. That's when I pick up the whole, if you saw the video, jumps off the table, slams himself into the window, because I guess he saw light for the first time in days. Slams himself into the window, falls back. Jared takes the saw and starts chasing him with the saw.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, I think it was just going to scurry him out. But anyway, takes off down across the dining room, through the foyer, and literally is drifting out the door. If you watch the video, you can see his little hind legs.
Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo drift out the door as my like cousin-in-law just quietly closes the door. She's got a grocery bag in her hand and she just closes the door like we're done. But I just thought that's it. We always have called ourselves the Griswolds, and that's exactly what that was. Out of Christmas Vacation, everybody was screaming. It was so exciting. But now we have 2 holes in the wall.
Of course you do.
And we debated, like, I don't know. We thought, well, maybe we just let him die. Well, then you got to deal with the smell, and then that seems kind of rude. So, yeah.
Seems kind of
Jared,
rude.
It does seem rude. Like, we hear you, buddy. Good luck.
Did he get in from under the house?
We don't know. And that's the problem. Like, how do you get, well, if he got in, then others can get in. So we got to figure that out.
Oh, you need to
But-
put some mesh over the opening. We
It
need
was
to do
really
that.
exciting.
That sounds exciting.
Well, now you put yourself in my shoes of walking in and they were all doing that. My first time walking into Allison's house was them all in the kitchen and the chandelier was like, and they were all like, oh, hold on, wait on, try it. And I'm
It was
just,
that same whole group.
and
That
I-
was all of
and
us.
I just kind of joined watching and eventually just, oh, hey, JV.
Great.
Yep. No, that was the crew. But we had an exciting weekend. Family is fun. There was one time where I went and locked myself in my room for like an hour because I just couldn't do it anymore. And then I come out and I'm okay.
Yeah, but you need a minute. I mean,
Did you do wedding stuff all weekend?
yeah, I did. And we worked in the yard for hours on Saturday. There are no more weeds.
Did it rain here?
No, it was hot as fire on
Oh,
Saturday.
wow. Whoa.
What?
I was
King
in-
and Tang stopped by and everything.
And that F really stretched out. It was hot as fire.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really meant it was hot as fire.
Oh, JP.
It was so
Do
hot.
we have a beep button?
but it's all clean.
No, we don't have the
And
FCC no
beautiful.
more.
So that only leaves a
JP
by
went
the
to
way,
beach.
I
he
did go
went to the beach. How was the beach?
Do I look red?
You look warm.
You look like Santa Claus.
My nose is gonna start peeling soon.
Did you have
Cherry
fun?
cheeks.
It was good. Yeah,
Good. Did you see any sharks?
we saw dolphins right up
Ooh.
near us.
Where did y'all stay?
I can't even tell you the place, but it was right on. Well, it was across the street from the beach, and we would walk over.
Did you
a
go
place.
to the original Oyster House? Where'd y'all eat dinner?
We ate dinner the first night when I got there. I drove straight to Mikey's.
Yum.
Very good.
What's Mikey's?
Mikey's Seafood.
It's good food.
It was very good. I was starving because I drove for 4.5 hours.
Mikey doesn't seem like he'd be good at seafood. He seems like
he
lives
is. He's a
in
pirate.
Jersey.
But I get out of the car, like my dad went there way early to get a to put our name down. I get out of the car and like there's a massive group of people outside waiting, and I'm like, oh, I'm so hungry. But as I'm walking up to like into the parking lot and I see my family, I hear plot party of 5. And I was like,
Nice.
That's
straight in.
yeah.
but then we went to
Dad
a
for the
place
win.
called the Perch the second night, which was really nice. But it was good. Yeah, we were expecting it to rain, but luckily it didn't. But I coated myself in sunscreen to not get burnt. I just wanted to get tan. But
Yeah, you look like you've been to the beach. It's perfect.
perfect.
Do we need to widen 65?
Yeah. Well, there was one part where it's a really bad wreck, South Alabama.
Ugh.
Other than that, the construction in Montgomery was a little bit annoying, but it wasn't too bad. But there's certain parts I was like, this should be widened for sure. Should call a guy.
Probably should. Hey, guy.
Anyway,
right,
y'all ready
so-
for word of the day?
Word of the day.
Three, 2, 1.
Ah, okay.
We got to come up with some new moves.
We don't have any moves. We can clap. Okay, this is a word that I didn't ever know how you pronounced it, and it's a word you've never used. But it's wonderful. It starts with an R. It ends with an H. I'll even tell you that it has the word fish in it.
I was about to say radish.
You're very close, actually.
Rad.
This word
fish.
describes people and things that show a careless but unusually attractive unconventionality. She didn't expect to like him, but his blank charm quickly won her over.
It has the word fish.
Raffish.
Yeah, that's it.
She didn't even know that was a word.
I was thinking of ravish, and then you said fish.
Hold on.
How do you spell it?
Raffish. Raffish.
Raffish.
Raffish.
Huh.
What does
Raffish.
it mean again?
Describes people and things that show a careless but unusually attractive unconventionality.
Oh, I kind of like that. That's what, if
a
you,
good word.
you know, she didn't expect to like him, but his raffish charm quickly won her over. I would put that in like the pheromones, like the unexplainable, like when you're attracted to somebody that you really don't expect to be attracted to or like.
Yeah.
It's kind of the total opposite. You can't really explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dealing with
Raffish.
that with like my kids, because they think they need this, they want this person. And I'm like, just sometimes there are things there that you don't even expect.
Yeah.
You don't even know you want or need.
That's
So
exactly
don't
right.
cross people off.
I
They might
agree,
be very
Allison.
raffish.
And that raffishness is exactly what you need in
Yeah.
your life.
It's you can't quite put your finger on it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, my Gen Z word is the exact opposite.
Uh-oh.
This is more of a girl word than guy word. It's 3 letters. The word is used to describe negative feelings towards something and express disgust. This is a Gen Z insult.
3 letters?
Mhm.
That's it.
Starts with an I.
Ick.
This may give it away. I went out with someone last night, but they gave me
Ick.
the ick.
Ah.
That's a good word.
So I read a thing because my kids are trying to find their spouses, and so every therapist that comes across on Instagram, I stop and read, and then I'll screenshot it and be like. And last night I came across one that said the ick was more about you than them. It was more about your issues than their issues.
Fair.
What do y'all think about that?
I think always start with yourself. Or as the proverb says, deal with the log in your own eye before you deal with the stump in the other person's eye.
That is funny though, because those are literally the opposites. Raffish is the unexplainable attraction that you just don't really see coming, that you're kind of like, I can't quite put my finger on it. Ick is the unexplainable kind of repulsion that you're like, can't really put my finger on it.
Or it is, I expected to feel ick about him, and yet I was won over by his raffish charm.
That's good. I actually used that word last night because
Coffee.
my girlfriend and I went to Mountain Brook Creamery.
My girlfriend.
We
my
went-
girlfriend.
is better than yours. Don't write.
Oh.
They broke out into dance.
I can't really sing that song. It seems inappropriate.
It is. But we're going to give you the rhythm.
My girlfriend. My girlfriend. My girlfriend. I hope she's watching.
I don't even remember what I was going to say.
You
But
went
we were
to
walking
Mountain Brook
to
Creamery.
Mountain Brook Creamery, and I had a ice cream cone, and it started to melt through the bottom of the ice cream cone, and it dripped on my pants, and I freaked out, and I went and like licked the bottom of the ice cream cone, and I looked, and she was looking at me, and I was like, "Did that give you the ick?"
And she said yes.
Was she judging you?
She was like, I was like, did I give you the ick? Sorry.
She like, can you pull yourself together?
You know, yesterday
You
was
good?
National Ice Cream Day.
I know. That's why we went, but
We
there
went
was,
to
messing up your-
Brewster's.
there was no discount.
I'm messing up.
I expected to have a discount when I went through Brewster's, and I'm going to copy Kinsey next time and get the ice cream cup and kind that she got. Molly and I did Reese's peanut butter cup last, and I just kept waiting for them to say, "Thank you for coming on National Ice Cream Day."
I know.
And they didn't even act like they knew it was a day. Whatever.
That's,
At least you took your GF to get ice cream.
did you push the break or do we need to do?
Oh no,
Yammer
we
when get
pushed
back?
the break, but we can do Yammer now.
Okay.
If y'all have your stories, we have 5 minutes.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay, we got
Oh,
Yammer.
moving
Y'all in the middle of Yammer. I have a story if y'all don't.
Okay.
This one I found interesting. This is from Yellowhammer. Sawyer Knowles wrote this one. Palmer and Adderholt back bill limiting DAR membership to biological women. Quote, you have to be a daughter. This is something I didn't even know was an issue. The Daughters of the American Revolution Membership Integrity Act would amend the organization's federal charter to add a requirement limiting membership to women who otherwise satisfy its existing genealogical and membership qualifications. Quote, it should be common sense that to be a part of the Daughters of the American Revolution, you have to be a daughter, Palmer said Friday. Unfortunately, common sense has become a casualty of the left's radical agenda. So I don't know. I don't think of Daughters of the American Revolution, except I know there's a school there in Alabama, but the organization itself. But I just found that interesting. It's like a problem you don't think is a problem. And then I can bet Allison's reaction will be, why are we making a law about this? But
did you see it on my face?
yeah.
Like, this is retarded.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where we are, I guess.
That's where we are.
Okay.
Mine's a quick bit about breaking news that there was an explosion outside the federal building in NYC, and federal immigration agents rushed out with the FBI, guns drawn. There is a suspect in custody. That's all we know for now. But
This is just now.
this is Eric Daughtry an hour ago.
Is this where Netanyahu's supposed to be? What is?
We'll look in the
Is
break.
this like federal hall?
But I was going to talk about the death tax and it being eliminated, but I can't, because now I got to tell you that some dipstick decided to blow some things up or just set off an explosion. It looked like it was fireworks. I have no idea, but FBI and federal ICE agents rushed out with guns drawn. So I'll let you know, but that happened this morning.
Okay. I don't know. Oh, why am I recording? Okay. Uncle PI3, Uncle Pi, Uncle at King Iva the Third. He says he's the king of urban Birmingham podcast and the guy behind the scenes. This is funny. He's followed by Erica Thomas, Porter Bannister, and James Spann. Okay. He tagged 1819 News and Yellowhammer News in a tweet, a special message from Pastor Michael Jordan at New Era Baptist Church regarding why his marquee hasn't changed in a while. You want to know what the marquee says?
What?
This is at the Baptist Church. White Republican bigots stole Birmingham water. They plan to terminate blacks and hire whites. You may know anything about this? I mean, I guess, hey, good on you. You're a pastor talking about politics, I guess. White Republican bigots, I guess that's us.
Mhm.
Yeah, apparently, or half of me.
Stole Birmingham water.
Okay.
They plan to terminate blacks and hire whites. Is he talking about the waterworks? Like
Yeah.
the waterworks. So we stole it and we're going to fire the blacks and hire whites, or we're going to terminate, like kill the blacks.
That's reckless language.
yeah.
Also, the Birmingham Waterworks has been one of the most corrupt agencies in the state since I was a child. So we need to do some digging into this, but that's reckless to throw those terms about.
I didn't know Michael Jordan was a pastor in Alabama either.
Very
I
cool
know.
name.
He must be really extra special.
Y'all want to know something kind of cool?
What?
I hate myself for this because I lost it. My sister-in-law used to live in LA and she went to Michael Jordan's 50th birthday party. And remember the little iPod shuffles?
Yeah.
This is back in the day. They gave them out and it had like a little signature on the back. And for some reason she gave it to me and then I lost it.
Allison.
Oh my gosh.
I know. That's my story.
Could sell for like millions.
Too late. We'll be back with the montage.
She tells me what she eats. Her husband tells me what she eats. And even if she sneaks and eats a gallon of ice cream, it's still not enough calories to support 524 pounds. So I have to believe that's true. And it's every single one. And to a T, when they finally get around and I keep hammering, you got to eat, you got to eat, you got to eat. And they start eating, they start losing weight. And until then, they don't.
And when they're eating what you've created.
Right.
They're eating probably
They're eating
well
proper
for the
food.
first time in their life.
For the first time in their life. Like I've had people that have come in, and this is with me going, bring me what you eat today. let me see what you eat today. And one of them, who's a dear friend of mine, is still training her, and she's lost 50 pounds in 4 months and gained 8 pounds of muscle and all kinds. She's doing great. She came to me the first day. I tell people this story. It's absolutely true. She said, I've eaten good and my fat macros are just way out, because we track it on an app, right? I was like, let me see what you've had. She had 2 Mike's Red Hot hot dogs, a bag of Doritos, and a Pop-Tart. And that was her healthy dinner. That was her healthy day. I didn't eat much. That's the problem. You didn't eat much. You didn't eat anything, really, because everything you ate was trash.
My word.
But there's a world full of people who eat just like that. When I was working part-time doing Spark, when I was studying all this stuff, delivering
Spark.
for Walmart. When my wife works for Walmart and delivers for Spark, we love it. It's a great service, and she makes great money when she does it. But I would look at these buggies that I'm taking to these people's houses, and I'd run into Kat Katura's my wife. I would run into her, and we'd be shopping at the same time, and I'd be looking at this thing, and I'm going, there's $500 worth of food in this buggy, and not one nutritious thing is in here. Not one. It's junk cereal, Pop-Tarts, fruit juice, sugar, cookies, Coke, all of it. And you'd take it to their house, and it'd be like this little tiny house with kids running around. I'm going, that's a future client, because that's what they're going to rate. They're going to be raised thinking is good food, and it's not. So like we were talking about on the phone, I honestly believe there is a huge portion of the population that just doesn't understand how to eat and how to fuel their body, and they're stuck, because then they starve themselves and they just get in worse shape, because the first thing it's going to eat is the muscle. If the body's been starved for a long time and you're not eating, it's going to go after the muscle, because it's going to think the fat is a last resort. It's going to hold on to that body fat or store as much of it as you can. Same thing with people who eat one time a day. A lot of people eat one time a day and they struggle. Well, that's because your body is a machine. Your body is designed to do 2 things: keep your systems running and keep you from being eaten by a lion, right? That's what we were born, it's done to do. So it's going to fight or flight and store energy. That's what it does to keep the systems running. When you're only eating one time per day, your body over time learns what your habits are. And it says, okay, well, we know we're not going to get fed again for 24 hours. I got to do all this stuff and keep all these systems running, keep digestion going, keep the heart beating. So we're going to give them just a little bit of energy to work on, and then we're going to store the rest of it for later as adipose tissue or body fat. So your body kind of gets into that cycle. When you break it down and you start eating 4, 5, even 6, sometimes 7, 8 times a day, like I do sometimes. Now, a meal for me is a handful of something. It's not a plate full of food. Yep. I'll do 1 or 2 of those a day, but when you start training your body to do that and it starts getting fed on a regular basis, then your body becomes accustomed to that. It learns the lesson. It says, okay, now we're getting a consistent food supply. So we can use these calories. We can give this person this energy. We can increase our metabolism, speed everything up a little bit, because we're not having to sweat it for 23 and a half hours every day. And over time, your metabolism changes and your body adapts to where eating more often, smaller meals, tends to make you feel better and have more energy and be able to do more stuff.
Okay. Pause. I want to go back. You said top 3. The first one was water.
Water.
But wait, before we move on. So are you not a fan of intermittent fasting? Or,
I don't mind.
or are you just like maybe once a week?
I'm a big believer. Yeah. I do not fast and it's not because of a religious thing. I would love to, but I am hypoglycemic. So my wife has already told me, and Kat's watching this, she knows she did. I told her I was thinking about starting intermittent fasting or fasting 1 time per day. She asked me to make sure that she was out of town when I did it.
Just don't call.
Exactly.
Don't text.
And I was like, yes, ma'am, I totally understand, because I will be a butt. I'm sure, because when my blood sugar drops, I tend to get really irritable, really clammy, really weak, really fast. I'm not diabetic or anything like pre-diabetes. I'm just hypoglycemic, always have been. Other than that, though, there are immeasurable health benefits from fasting, intermittent fasting and or fasting 1 day a week or whatever you want to do. I have no problem with that. It does a lot of things with the systems of the body. They reset. It helps your endocrine system. It helps your pancreas, and it helps all of your metabolism type systems and your muscle. It basically cleans your system out in a 24-hour period.
It's funny how God did that.
It's funny, isn't it? We're supposed to do it. Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's stuff he made. It tends to work pretty well. It works pretty well. When we mess with it is when it get us into trouble. But yeah, I'm not intermittent fasting. I have done it before. I did a 16-8 window. I've done 12-12 windows, and I lost weight. The real trick is, though, it's not because of the fasting that you're losing weight. It's because eating in a restricted time period, you are automatically reducing your calories. You're in a caloric deficit.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want to. If you're not in a caloric deficit, you're going to really struggle to lose body fat because you have to be a little bit. Where I come in is I factor your activity level and all of those kinds of things into your diet so that you're not struggling through your workouts and you're still in a deficit, just a little one.
Yep.
My goal is always for my clients, I don't care if you weigh 140 pounds or 540 pounds, to lose between 1 and 2 pounds a week maximum, no more. If you're losing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds a week, number one, you're not losing body fat. You're either losing water or muscle or both.
Even if you weigh 500 pounds?
Even if you weigh 500 pounds.
Okay.
I'd rather see them lose 100 pounds a year than 400 pounds in 6 months. Like I said, I can put them on a diet that'll do that.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be a healthy long-term solution. And most of these people that we're talking about that are that.
Hello, and welcome back to the Right Side. I'm Amy Beth. She's Allison, and he's JP. We're having a Monday. In the 11 o'clock hour, we have David Matthews on. He's coming on at 11:10. That may be a new name to you, and for some of you, not at all. But we're excited about interviewing him. He is a candidate, and he is outspoken, and we are going to enjoy that in just a few minutes.
He's a candidate for Congressional District 2.
Run against Rep Marcus and Christopher Horn.
Okay.
He is fiery.
Yeah,
This will be a good interview. I've never met him. I really didn't know much about him. I've really never heard his name before now, but he has come out with a bang.
No, yeah, same. Okay. So, Allison, you said as we were coming back from break, right before we get to the montage, which we know you've been waiting for. What you got?
I just have two quick little statements. So, a new agriculture bill just dropped in the House of Representatives. And it has 50 co-sponsors, one of which is Representative Mike Rogers from the state of Alabama. But it grants amnesty to illegal aliens present in the United States as of May 31st, 2026, who meet minimal agricultural work history requirements.
And Mike Rogers is backing that.
He's now they haven't had a vote on it yet, but he is already on the bill as one of the co-sponsors. Now,
Okay.
maybe we're missing some great parts of this. I won't jump to conclusions, but the first little things out about it are not good. Why are we granting amnesty to illegal aliens when we have Americans that can't get jobs? I mean, look at our kids out of college, can't get jobs, but you're just gonna, oh, well, they've been here.
That's
Just-
a bigger discussion.
Does this sound like, okay, no.
So
I have
start digging into
questions.
that. Let us know what you find out. Also, the FDA had to send an apology letter to Taylor Farms. Explosive diarrhea is not coming from Taylor Farms. It was a quote, a false positive.
So Taco Bell
Yeah.
is not doing it either.
That was the Taco Bell
or-
iceberg lettuce.
Yeah, so go eat Taco Bell. They don't even know where it's coming from. Fabulous.
Do you think Bobby would mind if we ate Taco Bell? Like just the regular tacos? It's got lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, meat.
No, but I'm thinking even better. Let's just go find the diarrhea lettuce and lose 6 pounds like that.
All right.
Bobby
Say
would be
less.
so proud.
He would just say, girls, go get it.
I don't think so.
Okay, so where is diarrhea coming from?
Well, I don't know, but
Now that we don't know.
the cyclosporiasis is the parasite. Y'all, here's the problem. It only forms, this parasite only grows in human intestines. Okay? It doesn't grow in animal intestines. It doesn't grow in moss, moist rocks, wherever. Cow patties, no. It only grows in human intestines, which means what happens, it comes out in feces, and I'm guessing they are using gray water, or which is dirty water, sewage water, or they're using human excrement fertilizer on some crops, either in the US or Mexico or wherever we're getting our lettuce from. That is an issue. That is a problem.
I'm backing up though. Are we now, since they said no, we're so sorry, Taylor Farms, it's not you, it's us? Have we had confirmation now that they've had to retract this that it was the lettuce in the first place? Do we know that it was lettuce?
No, now we know nothing.
Okay.
We're back to square one.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure I'm tracking. But number two, I did not know that they used gray water on some crops. And I'm not sure I'll ever be able to eat food out of the ground again.
Did y'all see the video of the girl and with all the lettuce in her sink, and she just got bleach and poured it all over it?
Oh,
Somebody was like, "This
Okay.
person's vote means or is equal to yours."
Listen, just some soak it in water and add vinegar. That just
some baking soda.
that's
or
for
something.
free, just from us. We love you, just for free. That's all you need. Okay.
Well, that doesn't kill explosive diarrhea parasites.
Well, it at least cleans your lettuce. If you're a girl and that's all you want to eat is salad.
Oh, what do you do? Now we're back to square one. I had blueberries. I was like, I'm free. I'm going to eat blueberries this morning. Nope.
Well, you're fine.
Probably
Because
get
I
diarrhea.
assure you that if it is a parasite and parasites act the way that food poisoning does, you would know probably in about 30 minutes to 8 hours.
No, this takes, they say 5 to 7 days.
I'm convinced my son-in-law had the parasite because he was near death. I mean, he had it lingered. It was a nightmare. So if our FDA, CDC, NIH, I don't know who you are that's figuring this out, probably the FDA, please go back to the drawing board and don't go home until you figured out where this came from.
I just think we can't multitask in the U.S. government anymore. We can't get the Strait of Hormuz open and find the culprit for explosive diarrhea. So at this point, I say, let's just leave Iran. We're not really making any progress. Let's put all of our resources on explosive diarrhea.
Let's nuke the parasite.
Yeah.
Let's bomb. Let's drop some bombs
That's,
on the cyclosporasis.
There's a lettuce farm right below us.
Okay.
all
sorry.
right.
We have a montage.
Montage?
Yes.
Montage.
Well, we feel very badly, but you know, those great people, those great patriots were out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
You told J.D. Vance you're open, your vote is up for grabs.
Yes, my vote is in play because it can't be Trump running. So I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing.
Well, look, he can have his opinion, but he's not going to stop ICE from doing their job. What he should do is go talk to the parents of Lake and Riley. Alien that killed her was arrested in New York City. If it wasn't a sanctuary city, he would have been handed over to us and he'd been locked up.
It's in my phone if you take off the case.
Tell them your mother is a federal prosecutor.
Yes.
Hey, Mom, how are you? This is Officer Gomez. Your son's fine, right?
Officer Gomez,
How are you? Yes,
former
yes.
federal prosecutor.
Okay,
That's
fair
my
enough.
son.
Yep.
He's a Harvard graduate.
Yeah.
He's not a criminal. He has no criminal record, no criminal history.
And if that becomes the Democratic platform, that we will now ever vote for any aid and will turn our back on Israel, then that makes me to make that decision as really what a Democrat should stand for, or being a part of my party for me.
Okay. Could we just back up and ask this quick question? I saw that Sonny Hostin's son, remember Sonny Hostin of Debut, he was arrested. She's rattling off her particulars, and his, as our friend Brian used to like to say, is bona fides. What was he arrested for?
I don't know, but the irony is that she was, saying he's a Harvard graduate. I'm a federal prosecutor, almost playing like the elitist card. And this is a direct quote from her not too long ago, obviously talking about President Trump on The View.
You can't commit so many crimes and think that you are above the law, even if you are the president. It's just how it works.
So it really is a celebration of the law.
It's a celebration of the law and how it applies to all of us.
Come on, man. So is there a way, I just want to know what he did. Was he trying to get in somewhere he shouldn't have been?
Looked like a protest kind of thing. I mean, I don't know.
Listen, we're moms. We
Listen.
understand wanting to protect your children. That's in us. We can't help it. But when you play the elite card, you quickly realize that there's a little thing called accountability. And it doesn't matter how fancy pants you are, you will have to be accountable, and your children for their actions. There's some things you can't save them from.
Well, he was cited for jogging alongside an active railroad, and he was cited for trespassing.
Did somebody ask him to leave?
No, but apparently Sunny Hostin is representing her son in the case, and she argued it was an honest mistake because an access gate was standing open, and no, quote, no trespassing signs were visible at the entrance. But yeah, he was cited for trespassing for jogging along a railroad.
That's stupid. But also, if there's no trespassing signs and it's a railroad and you could die, also, maybe we should pay attention to that.
It's really anticlimactic. I wanted more.
Yeah, I did too. I wanted like you said, maybe a protest, or
she's going to turn this into some race.
Yeah, exactly.
Racial. They were profiling because he was in a tank top and he's black. I don't know.
That's why I had to let them know he's a Harvard graduate, because they thought he was some crackhead because he's black, and that's what
he was just somewhere he shouldn't have been. That's all. I mean, am I wrong?
Why do you want to run alongside a train track anyway? I mean, I guess maybe it's clear and it's straight and you can maybe. I don't know. Seems dangerous. And what if you come to a bridge? You got to stand by me at. Have you ever seen that movie?
I have.
Okay, good.
It's a good movie.
Thank goodness.
Okay, well, I just needed to know because that was dust up on my social this week, and I'm sure it was for many, many people, but I didn't understand what he did. I agree with you, Sinclair. That's like completely anticlimactic. Just if there's a no trespassing and the gate's up, it still means no trespassing. Just don't go.
She said there wasn't a sign.
Yeah, she claimed that there was no, quote, no trespassing signs, but allegedly.
We'll see.
I do want to, I think the clips of Bill Maher and John Fetterman are a longer discussion after David Matthews. That just
fascinating.
The continued, the Democrats themselves even realizing where the party's going and saying, I'm out. I think that's a good discussion, but we can do Muslim Minute from 11 to 11:10. But real quickly, do we want to talk about the Iran latest of two? Well, I saw two.
Sorry.
You're good.
We're
Two troops dead, but then I saw one was MIA. I haven't seen the latest on him, but I mean, there's not really much else to say. I think we have Iran fatigue, but now we're having more U.S. troops dying because of it. So I think the total was what now? 15, 16?
It's getting up there. I mean, I didn't really keep up with it, but I don't like the lackadaisical.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we feel bad for them. We feel bad for them. They lost their lives. And I don't know if he meant it that way, but it's frustrating to me because I still don't know what the end goal is and why we're there. If I felt clear on the mission and knew we had a plan, and I'm thinking the soldiers probably feel that way too. Like, what are we doing? We're like, what's it called? Not flopping around in no man's land. What are we doing? Languishing?
Straddling the fence.
Yeah, languishing is a good
we're
word.
just languishing in no man's land. Like, are we going? Is it a memorandum of, are we ceasing? Are we fighting? Are we bombing? I mean, Trump said we're basically at another war and now he doesn't need Congress for 60 more days. Was that the plan all along? Just to go around congressional approval?
I mean, what? Because last we heard Iran can't have nukes and they have to open up the strait. I mean, is that what it's come down to? That those are the only two consistent things we've heard. We do have Iran fatigue. We do not know how we get out of this, except the only way out with Iran is to wipe Iran off the face of the earth. That seems to be because there is not going to be a new regime. There might have been an inkling of hope, a shred of hope way back at the beginning when the people were protesting where they lost their lives. 30,000 people lost their lives trying to overthrow the government. That didn't work. So now they're in the same place they have been. And we are too. And now I mean, do they even have an Ayatollah? Do they even have a leader? Is he incapacitated?
He's somewhere.
I mean, this just tell us you're going to wipe them out or just tell us when it's over.
Well, the problem is we're in a position where the Trump administration knows that the Iran war and the gas prices were going to hurt Republicans in the midterms, but they didn't really want to stop the Iran war. So now they're trying to
pause right there. Why didn't they want to stop?
Because I think, well, I don't think they know that all the the objectives weren't achieved. They can't say that publicly though.
But what are the objectives? Okay.
I mean, they went into it with, I think, regime change as the goal, which is why they killed the Ayatollah day one. But they're not happy because Iran, and they're not going to say it, Iran has replenished, not fully, but their military is not donezo like they say it is. And they're going to rebuild it up. But the problem is when they rebuild it up and get a new Ayatollah and then keep going, they're actually going to pursue nuclear weapons because we did what we did. So they know that threat is not gone. They know the nuclear threat is not gone. So they know the job's not finished. I think they're trying to figure out how far they have to go for it to be finished, because I think the administration is surprised by the lack of just giving up. And it goes back to, again, we don't think how they think. But the issue is the midterms and the gas prices, and they were getting way too high. So Trump is like, we need to get out for the midterms, but we know we have to go back in. So let's just kill time. Let's just chill. We'll say there's a ceasefire, but we'll also say whenever they kill our troops that it's not over. Do you remember what Trump said when Iran launched missiles at a ship in the Strait? And he was like, you can't trust them. We're going to bomb the crap out of them. They can't be trusted. But then nothing really happened. You know, we did do strikes after the troops were dead. But I think we're playing footsie. We're just killing time till after the midterms, and then we're going to go back in. But the memorandum of understanding, according to Trump, was over after Iran shot missiles at the ships, and then now the troops are dead. So we are in no man's land. But it's all because Trump knew that the gas prices and the messaging for the midterms was not a good look. So he's trying to win an election, but also go back in eventually. That's the game. That's the needle he's trying to thread. But it is fatiguing.
I'm also curious why. This is a whole other discussion. Did I make this up? Were there reports last week that Israeli, the IDF and Mossad and Iran were communicating and working together?
There was the Iranian president.
Okay.
Remember?
And then have you noticed that Iran is bombing everybody but Israel?
Allison Sinclair, we're going to dig into that. That's odd, don't you guys think?
Just give me a piece of aluminum foil. But I mean, I just started thinking about that. I'm like, this is weird. All right, we got to go to a break. We'll be back with David Matthews and more in the montage.
Muslim Minute.
Oh, Muslim Minute.
That much are train. I mean, I can put them on a treadmill and I have to watch them if I put them over a mile an hour because their heart rate starts to spike and it gets dangerous. So different animal than the Albert average person. But as far as for the average person, intermittent fasting and fasting, yes, is a definite way that you can change up your metabolism and clean out your system, which in reality, the health is what it's all about anyway. I don't care if you're perfectly healthy and weigh 250 pounds, have at it. I wish I could do it. If you're perfectly unhealthy and weigh 115 pounds, likewise, you're in the opposite spectrum. I'd rather see you healthy, happy, and sustainable have the energy, because not all of us are built, like models. We're just not. Metabolism has a big to do with it. Genetics has a lot to do with it. Upbringing has a lot to do with it. How we're raised, what we eat, what we're taught to eat. I was always, she'll tell you, up until I got to high school, I was the fat, asthmatic, sick kid all the time, everywhere. I was the last to be picked in PE for every game. I was never got a date. Never did get a date. Hardly ever. I mean, it was just not my thing. But I started exercising and all that changed. But I was also fed constantly. And I don't mean like vegetables. And we did eat a lot of vegetables, but all of our stuff was fried. Everything. We had cornbread every meal with butter and jelly on it. And then I had a candy bar for dessert, and I could eat sugar so it was a taught behavior in a lot of ways. But so there's a lot of factors that play into that. But I think that I remember, and I don't think you were in my class, and I hate to keep going back to stuff that happened when we were little.
Cute.
But
We've known each other since we were 5, Bobby.
I know, right? But third grade.
Whose
I think
class
I was
were you
in Miss Geis's class.
I was in Miss Morgan's.
Okay, yeah, you were in Miss Morgan's class back when we had splatter T-shirts and sweatshirts and tie-dye and all that. Yeah. A person who is still a very good friend of mine and yours.
Okay.
We had show and tell. 3rd grade.
I'm scared.
This person brings up a can of lard to show the class. And he explains where lard comes from. This is pig fat that's been rendered via heat, and it makes this stuff called lard, and it's basically pure fat. Basically, this is what Bobby's made out of.
I do remember that. I wasn't in the class, but I remember the repercussions.
So,
I'm sorry.
Long story short, if he's out there, he swears he does not remember saying this or doing this, but I know it was real.
Those moments of trauma you don't ever forget.
I want to tell that person thank you for a lifetime of motivation. Literally. I think it took me until I was 50 years old to get through where I thought I'm okay. Not because of in a bad way. I mean in a good way. I always pushed myself really, really, really hard. But yeah, so I was always the fat, sick kid. And I was a porky little 160 pounder at 11 years old. So I was the biggest kid at scout camp, and there were kids there 17. I was the heaviest kid at scout camp at 11. Absolutely. So it's not something that I've ever had come easy, I guess is the point. But what I can say is doing all the digging, and I'm sure my wife and friends get sick of me constantly digging and researching different things to ad nauseum. Like if I find a supplement, I'm going to find out everything about it. If somebody tells me about a diet, I'm going to find everything about it. And I've been doing that for 35 years. So I've come away with what works and what doesn't work. And what works more times than not is keeping it pretty healthy, not going crazy, not doing the watermelon diet, the grapefruit diet. All those things that people do. Just keep it balanced, watch your portions, make sure you're eating enough. That would be water. Number 2 would be eat enough food. Don't eat too little, because if you're eating too little, you're short tracking your metabolism and you're going to slow your progress. And that is hard for people who have heard don't eat carbs and eat nothing but meat and vegetables. Yes.
You're like, you're saying I can eat?
Yeah.
What? I've been hungry for 10 years.
I know, right? And I'm still not where I want to be, right? That's what happens.
Yep.
Well, what's number 3?
As much as I hate to say make sure you're getting enough protein, I will say it this way. I will say make sure you're getting enough protein, but make sure you're not eating too much protein too. The reason I say that is because...
Okay, Bobby.
What do you mean?
How do you know what that is? Like, where do you...
That's where you learn how to calculate, and that's what I do. That's kind of where I'm teaching.
That's why we need you.
Well, I'm kind of leading people into that, and I'm not leading anybody into anything. This has been around forever. But I try to personalize it to a point where I can go, this many grams of protein is this many servings of protein in this form or in that form. So you're at least watching that. So as much as I would echo one of the best trainers at the gym where I work, he says the 2 biggest things are protein and calories. Make sure you're getting enough protein, make sure you're getting enough calories, but not too much of either one.
But what happens if you go over on protein?
Doesn't do a thing. Protein is the only macronutrient in the body that the body does not store. Okay. But you didn't know that.
So what's the formula? Like, what's the protein formula?
That's his secret. He can't give it.
You can give it
okay.
away.
It's out there, and nobody. This is not some trade secret. It's somewhere depending on your athletic level and your age. It is somewhere between 0.9 and 1.7 grams per pound of lean body weight.
That's a huge
lean body weight.
Okay.
So let's say you're 140 pounds and you're at.
Welcome back to The Right Side. I'm Amy Beth. She's Allison. That was a good sound.
That was very satisfying.
It's just water, y'all.
I tried a poppy this weekend. It was
It's
good.
pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't know they were good.
They're expensive, but they're good.
Someone brought one to my house and said, you should try this.
Have you had the protein soda?
Allison, what?
I'll have to send you the brand. It's a protein soda. It has 40 calories and like 7 grams of protein in it.
Does it taste good or does it
tastes good?
Oh, I need to know.
I'm gonna.
I need you to send me the link.
I found your high protein cottage cheese.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
Do I ruin this with like a giant sip of coffee?
You know, that reminds me of my childhood. Do you remember when you used to go to the movie?
I was just about to say that's like the movie trailer.
Yeah.
Where they say, get your Coke, and it's like,
Yep.
And it like fills up on the screen with the ice.
Was everybody allowed to get a Coke at the movie?
Were you not?
I'm just asking.
Abs.
Later.
Did you have a childhood?
Yes. Oh, I had a fun childhood, but we didn't go to the movies very much. But then when I married Chris Shaver, we got lots of Cokes at the movies, but that is just not what we did. We did not go to the movie.
And then the popcorn one was like,
did you say popcorn?
He said
I love
popcorn.
cone.
Sorry.
the popcorn.
I love the popcorn.
Corn pop.
Popcorn is so good.
Sorry, y'all. So we we'll know Bobby's playing during the break, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Abs and I and my daughter are all now on the Bobby train, working out with Bobby, and part of Bobby's, is like you got to drink water. So I don't know if sparkling water counts.
And she
Bobby.
can't drink just water.
Well, she thinks that, and she's right. If we drink as much water as we're supposed to, like a ton of water, you should add a little splash to your day of water drinking, and it should be bubbly.
I don't do it all day. I just like one. I don't know. Sorry. Anyway, I thought y'all could.
If y'all want to be on the
Okay.
Bobby train, you need to go check them out at Phoenix Fitness. Just go find Bobby Holditch. Just look him
Y'all-
up on Facebook.
Y'all aren't going to recognize me in 90 days. You're gonna be like,
I'm
"Who is
gonna
that?"
have strong arms and lift things.
No, Bobby and I already talked about you. We're like, what is Abs doing?
What are you talking about? Am I a loser?
No, but we were like, I said, Bobby, I sit during the show and just rub her arms because they're so fabulous.
They're
not-
going to be strong.
Okay, so strong. I'll give you that.
Yoked.
Yeah, yoked.
She's going to walk in. Like,
So if you want to get on the Bobby train too, you can go look up Bobby Holditch in Phoenix Fitness and Nutrition. Seriously. It's not a joke. Anywho, okay. Is it time for the Muslim Minute?
it's time for the
Muslim
Minute with Charlie.
The neighbors. It's part of the Sharia to take care of your parents, to take care of the children. It's part of the Sharia to have strong families. It is part of the Sharia to fight immoralities. It is part of the Sharia to fight for equality. Sharia is a beautiful guidance Allah has given. Just because some people misuse it, we blame those people, but not the concept of Sharia. Okay? But now here is the question. Some people may fear Sharia is coming to US. Okay. That is the fear. And I say to them, do not fear. Sharia is not coming to the US. And the reason it is not coming to the US is because it is already here.
Oh, hell no. Deport.
Have you seen the John Wayne hats that say the hell I won't?
Can we order some? Are they on like
I
Amazon
wondered if
or
you'd
Etsy?
wear one because during our Muslim Minute segments, no, deport, number one. Number two, we have a constitution and Sharia is incompatible with the constitution. So if anybody is practicing Sharia, deport. And number three, friends and neighbors, we don't know what else we can share with you to tell you that we need to believe and then act upon what they are telling us because they're not holding back. Why are we?
why are we just sitting watching this and saying the invaders have the same rights? I mean, they are literally here to overthrow our government. That is exactly what he just said. They are trying to take down the United States without firing a bullet. And we're like, they have the same First Amendment rights as us. Bollocks. Deport. They are, I just can't, I get so fired up. This is a very effective, JP. Because I look at this stuff every day, and every time you play one, I get more and more fired up.
Well, and I'll provide some background on this one. This was an Islam town hall in Plano, Texas. And this was them presenting their explanation in defense of Sharia. And the quote that ended the clip was, Sharia is not coming to the U.S. And the reason it is not coming to the U.S. is because it is already here.
And Abs, what does Sharia law, if we all have to follow it, mean for us?
Sharia law means for us beatings. Sharia law means if we were to testify in a Sharia court that the wife's testimony counts half as much as the man. Sharia means that basically men are free to run your lives and do whatever they want to do because they can. In Islam, men are instructed and shown how to beat their wives. They are allowed freedom that is incomprehensible to us. They argue for and can defend marrying children. That'd be 10 and under. They argue for that. They defend it. And they say that we are animals and should be treated as such. So a Sharia court is basically a court where we would try to go, and it didn't matter what we said. We might as well walk in with duct tape over our mouth because it doesn't matter. The man is going to get what he wants, and we are not. So for people who are progressives and defender of women's rights, where are you? Because this is what they're trying to enact. This is what they want to do by getting Islamic centers around the state and snapping up church properties. This is what they're doing right now. Unless you think, well, that's just silly. No, it's not. Pay attention. Also, I just found out today, because I never really realized it or thought about it. Remember a couple months ago when we said that they opened an Islamic prayer room in the Vatican, a place that I think we've all had the privilege of going? You do understand that's how it started out in Constantinople, where there were these big, glorious churches, and I've had the opportunity to see it with my own eyeballs. And it was so nice of them to leave behind some of the reliefs that Christians put up, but it's now one of the largest mosques in the world. That's exactly what they're trying to do with Vatican City. So we're always starting with this word. If what you believe is not compatible with the Constitution and you believe and ascribe to Sharia law, because that's what your holy books tell you that is going to be the deciding factor, get out. Get out. And for elected officials that are like, oh, those girls are making much ado about nothing, please, we urge you to do your homework for yourself and then decide what you're going to do.
Why do you think they pass? If all you want is Sharia law, if that's what you want to live under, why don't you go to any of those countries, 39 of them that already are under Sharia law?
54.
54 of them. That's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. And then I go, oh, do we get to testify at 50% before or after they rape us and our daughters? I mean, this is... And here in Alabama, we have elected officials going, well, you know, we have to be really strategic about how we handle them. Is David Matthews on?
He is.
I bet he has an opinion about this.
I can't wait to hear it.
He seems super smart, and he's feisty enough. I bet he might have a solution.
Should we just go ahead and ask him about it?
Is he nodding? Well, he can do this.
Hey, David Matthews, how are you?
His mic.
Okay. JP, do you have his number?
Here, I'll message with him.
Okay. Boy, This will be a great interview. He's running for.
This gives him a second to think about it.
It does. District 2. But David, we're going to ask you about Sharia. We're going to ask you about the Islamic influence that's growing quietly. Yes, even here in Alabama, and also some of the things that you're running on. But we want your opinion. I'm also, by the way, I'm just putting this out here. I'm going to include a link to James Lindsay, his 15-minute bit on Islamism.
Islamism.
It's good.
That's a serious word.
It's a serious word, and we may be talking to him soon. But I'm going to link it in the newsletter because it's important enough. I'm going to listen to it again on the way home, but it's a tidbit worth of information. It's digestible. Listen to it because it's eye-opening. Islamism.
I think I've read that word. I've never said it.
Interesting.
I think that David Matthews is just mouthy enough to be able to speak honestly about this.
I think so too.
Which is going to be really good. Is he back, JP?
Oh, we're working on it.
Okay, we're working on it. So
anyway, so carrying on until we get David Matthews
back.
back.
What do you want to move on to? I was looking at the other topics.
Well, it kind of goes along with this. And I know that I don't think that it was in the montage, but it was a subject you brought up, JP. But it was Brandon Gill talking about Somalians being the backbone of Minnesota.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I forgot to put that in the montage.
You know, you kind of think about the Somali community in Minnesota and their tie to Islam. And he asked the question, why are nearly 80% of them still on welfare after being here for 10 plus years? So it really dovetails nicely with what we are saying. It's incompatible with our Constitution. But number two, we deport because after 10 years, you should be up and running and off welfare. And then beyond that, though, you have to understand that a racket's being run by people like Ilhan Omar, who's one of the great arbitrators of getting these people to Minneapolis and keeping them there. But what I also find interesting, Allison, you may have seen this weekend, but Ilhan Omar is living a life of luxury on our dime. And so you just think, why haven't arrests happened in Minnesota? Why haven't these people been held accountable? Why is Ilhan Omar still here? Like, of all the people that should be deported, she's first. Get her out. This is incompatible with our Constitution. And now we come to find out transport, travel, food, living a life of luxury. She is the ringleader of part of what's going on with that Islamic integration, that Muslim integration into America. And so we have that to look at as an example and ask ourselves, why is that still going on at all? Is that a fair question?
Yeah. And there was news that broke over the weekend, maybe on Friday, that said that the Trump administration is cutting off green cards to migrants who use welfare. That's food stamps, Medicaid, public housing, other taxpayer programs, which is a great angle. Like you have to, I mean, hats off to Donald Trump and Scott Bessent. Which one is it?
It's close.
I think it's
Bessent. For thinking outside the box. Maybe we don't even, because we were going to pay them to self-deport. Whatever. That seems silly too. You cut off their resources, 80% are still on welfare, food stamps after 10 plus years. Cut off their resources, they will self-deport. And we make millions, billions of dollars back. So good on them, but they aren't here. They are here to destroy America. That's what I want to say. Like, whether it's Sharia law or the Somalians coming over, forget Sharia law. Let's say they do want to just follow American law. They are sucking dry our economy and our all of our government, our taxpayer funding, and it is going to them. And that is the point. The point is to destroy our government, destroy our ability to be self-sufficient, destroy our economy. And they are succeeding at that. Meanwhile, they're ushering in Sharia law. I mean, Minnesota, what? They hung the Somalian flag. And you look in their city councils, their police forces in some of these cities are fully taken over by migrants and Muslims. Seems like they're one and the same up there. It's disgusting. So Brandon Gill is he's just solid. I cannot wait to hear him and meet him when he comes in town.
Did you already create my fat head?
Shoot, JP, add it to the to-do list.
Or do I need to create
add it. No, we need to do that. We need to get your fat head.
I mean, or I could just hide in the bathroom and call and be like,
That's
hey,
what we're going to do.
I know I'm finding a quote that I saved a couple weeks ago, and it's about this very issue, you guys. And I think it was from Plato, but it's appropriate for now. I'm going to hide in the bathroom and be like, listen, hey guys, I just want to say, just like that. Like I'm thinking I'm going to do that.
No,
just
you're
for a
going to
quick
be our
second.
shtick. You're going to be our shtick. And the shtick is, remember Flat Stanley?
Yes,
Where
I
everybody
remember
would take
Flat
Flat
Stanley.
Stanley across the world. We're going to get pictures of Flat Amy Beth. Flat abs.
Oh, I like that.
Flat abs with everyone.
Okay, that'd be great. Let me throw this quote out here. Y'all might enjoy this. Aristotle said, a mark of a tyrant is that he likes foreigners better than his citizens and lives with them and invites them to his table. Is that not exactly what's happening here? I mean, how old is that quote? How long has this been going on? When are we going to decide that we're going to be the community of people that gets it right? Not all cultures, we say this over and over again, not all cultures are the same. Not all ideas are valid. Not all people deserve to join this great republic. They just don't. They don't bring anything to the table except they're takers. And if you invite takers to the table, don't be surprised when you're the one that ends up hungry. And that's where we're headed.
And
in
that's
all areas of our life.
Exactly what you're saying. That's so good, because it's like there should just be one basic immigration question. And as you're looking to decide who gets to stay, now this is legal. This is like back in the day before we said shut it all down. But what are you going to contribute? That's what you do. If you want to go move to Italy, you have to show that you can support yourself and that you will contribute to the betterment of their country. We're just like, come across illegally and we'll give you the life of luxury off everybody else's back and you don't have to do a thing. What? That is the opposite of the way this country was built. I don't get it. I don't understand it unless they're all getting paid off and they're all compromised.
Are they also compromised in their thinking, because the less Christian we are, the less able we are to recognize what's right and what's wrong, what's good and what's evil, and then to have the backbone to do something about it? I'm just wondering.
I think we have several things coming together. There's a darkness, a spiritual darkness and depravity. There's the toxic suicidal empathy. And then you've got the ones that are truly corrupt and compromised for whatever reason. And it's just setting up for a disaster, which is why who we elect matters.
It's true. And so guess what? We have someone new to the show. His name is David Matthews. He's running for CD 2. And we welcome him to the right side. Hey, David, how are you?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
You had a whole new setup. You're in a new. That was
Look at
quick.
that.
It was like a costume change.
Oh, look, I'm a tech guy, and I couldn't get my laptop to work, so I had to go to the big dog over here, my workstation. So
Okay.
here we
Look
go.
at you with your microphone. I mean, this is a whole thing.
How many people running for Congress have a setup like this? I'm a geek,
You?
really.
You have it. So we're happy to have you here, and you might have caught part of what we were talking about, but every day we've started to do a Muslim Minute because we want to talk about the invasion that has happened, is happening. We're unaware, but we've had the opportunity to talk to some elected officials who may not be aware of what's happening. But then when they are, they say, well, what are we supposed to do about it? So what do you think about that it's happening even in Alabama? For example, the Huntsville imam who said, be prepared for jihad.
I mean, honestly, that's a good question. I mean, I'll say my perspective, and it seems like you guys agree, Sharia law is not compatible with our culture at all. And how exactly do you keep that from infiltrating our country? It's a difficult problem. Our First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. That's the first part of it. We can't restrict people from practicing the Muslim faith, but this type of law that they want to bring in here, and it's starting to hit Texas and New York City, and it spreads like a cancer. How do you stop that? I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I have a good answer for you. I don't know. That's a specific problem I haven't, considered solving yet, because I haven't been in a capacity to solve it yet. But maybe if I become the next congressman, that's something I can figure out.
It's something we have to address. And I think it's hard I hear what you're saying. The First Amendment is a beautiful thing. I also would argue and say that maybe they're not a religion. They're more of a cult. Usually religions, like if you look at Christianity, we may tell you, we may evangelize to you, but if you reject it, we'll probably say, hey, I'll continue to pray for you. If you reject or leave Islam, you're probably getting your head chopped off. And so to me, that's the definition of a cult. And then I also don't know how you separate Sharia law from their religion. It is their religion. So anyway, you think about that and we'll have you back on and you can address your, because we've talked to several officials that are kind of like, is that really a problem in Alabama? And we're not really sure how to handle it. Well, okay, if we don't handle it, we won't have a country. It's up to you. So anyway, before we get into really any other deeper issues, I want to know about you, because maybe I'm just out of touch and you all down there are kind of this whole other world, country, weirdness. Where did you come from? What is your story? Why are you running? What's your background?
I'll say this. I'll preface this with saying, wait, how much time do we have?
It depends on if JP can push the break back. JP, we've got at least 10, 12 minutes.
Yeah, we got at least about 10 more minutes.
So you may want to, I'll say this. So I've been with the president since the very beginning. I started on his campaign in 2016. I helped him win Pennsylvania when no one had won it since '88 when Reagan ran. And then I was in both Trump administrations. So I learned a lot of stuff that a lot of people typically don't get exposed to. And I am an open book. So you guys can ask me anything. I'll tell you exactly how I feel on it. So just, I guess, ruminate on that for a second. But to answer your question, I was born and raised in the wiregrass, is what they call it in Southeast Alabama. We have this native type of grass that's very, only in this part of our country. But born and raised in Ozark, a city of about a population of 13,500. I'm just like another kid, went to public school, went to the University of Alabama. When I graduated, it was right after the 2008 financial crisis. Could not find a job. I was on, I guess, the spectrum of homelessness is the way I would describe it. Was waiting tables, working in kitchens, just trying to figure out how to get out of the trap of poverty. And not too long after that, I got my toe into the Trump campaign in 16. And the story is crazy. I wrote a book about it. It's on Amazon. It's called My Trail to the White House. But got onto the Trump campaign and very quickly got promoted to be in charge of Pennsylvania, half of Pennsylvania, and then joined the administration on day one, on Inauguration Day, at the Department of Agriculture, which I would say is a very misunderstood department. There's a lot there aside from agriculture. I was there all 4 years. The president appointed me to the Board of International Food and Agricultural Development. And I don't know if you can see it. There's a big certificate up here on the wall right here. It's calligraphied, has the president's signature on it, and Mike Pompeo. And so I was one of 7 board members for this USAID advisory board. So I got to see what's inside of USAID. It is a mess. I was the youngest person by 20 years on that board. And then I came back in the second term, and I was in charge of a very important mission area. I was the director of state operations for rural development, which is at the USDA. And I call it, Trump's mission area, because it essentially provides a wide array of government programs that help Trump country. I mean, the programs are only eligible for rural areas, which got the president elected. And so, we had 88 different programs. We did water infrastructure, broadband infrastructure, electric infrastructure, electric generation, housing development, business development, finance, a lot of things. And at 37 years old, I was in charge of 2,500 employees, and I had 53 people reporting to me, and then I left. And so I guess the second part of your question is, why am I running? I had a very good job, and I have 5 kids and a wife. And I was my pay was pretty much maxed out. So the way a federal employee works, there's a GS scale, which goes to 15, GS 15. And then above that is SES, Senior Executive Service. And so I was a senior executive, and I had a lot of bright things on the horizon if I'd have stayed up there, of some opportunities, very lucrative, where I could have made life-changing money. But my wife and I made the decision and decided that this is what we needed to do. And so I went into unemployment and resigned from my position and ran in this race. And the reason I'm running is because I'm tired of us electing people who don't know how to make the federal government work for the people. And, people that typically go to the House and the Senate, they're making horrible decisions. And it's not because, they're always dumb or lazy. It's, they haven't been exposed to the things that I've been exposed to in the executive branch. And I want to take my experience, and I want to not just benefit District 2 and not just Alabama, but the entire country. And there's a lot of things I want to do if I get up there. So long answer there.
How can you make the House work for the people then?
Oh, where do I get started? I'll say what's important to you. If cutting government waste is important to you, I know things of how to cut government spending that no one else knows. If you remember, before Inauguration Day for the second term, Elon Musk, he announced he wanted to do Doge and come in. And Elon Musk is the most successful, wealthy person of our species ever. He's in a lot of very complicated industries. Space exploration, And when he announced that, I turned to my wife and Emily, and I said, when Elon Musk gets in there, he's going to lose his mind, because the things you do in the private sector can't apply to the public sector. And I'd say temporarily he actually did. He went in there and he tried to, do what has worked with him in the private sector, and it's just, the public sector is an upside down world. It is, like the Wizard of Oz. It's like Alice in Wonderland. A lot of it does not make sense unless you've been in there managing operations and seeing how agencies work. And I've seen that. So, cutting government waste is one of them. Making policy decisions. I am the only person in this race, and there's 6 of us, including me, who have worked directly on very important government policy, agriculture policy, rural development policy. And some of these decisions they may be well-intentioned that our elected officials make. Some of them are destroying entire industries, like the timber industry is one of them. And I want to go up there and help guide decisions so we don't cripple our country with the stroke of a pen. I could keep talking. You're gonna have to interrupt me, by the way.
Well, I think JP, I know you pushed the break. Do we have
We're at 5 minutes right
5 minutes? Okay. I'm curious. When we were coming in today, we had a meeting before the show. We were talking about, I was like, he reminds me of the Spencer Pratt of the South. Spencer Pratt.
I have not heard that.
With a Southern accent. I just watching some of your social media posts, you don't seem to be afraid to say the thing, to call out the elephant in the room, kind of push and prod and go after what you think is right. But I'm curious, because we just have a few more minutes, but you said your inside knowledge of the administration and the executive branch. But besides that, what sets you apart? If somebody were to just jump in this interview right now, what sets you apart from your opponents?
Oh,
whether it's
man.
a policy position, it's an attitude, it's a connection.
That's hard to say. There's a lot that sets me apart from my, I guess, opponents is what you call them. I'd say it's my experience, really. You could not, if you were to take a citizen and you're like, okay, we're going to design somebody who has the perfect skill set to be an ideal congressman or senator. If you were to try to manufacture that person, and I'm not being like, I'm not gloating, and this is, I'm just stating this fact. I have just, by an act of God, been put in positions that have taught me things that no one gets exposed to. I mean, the things that I've learned, you can't pick up at Harvard or Yale. I have experience in a lot of very intricate matters of the federal government. And even during the Biden administration, I worked in business development finance. I had to teach myself all that complexity. I know a lot of things. I know how to get the federal government to work for the people as it's designed, and in such a way that, I mean, my opponents could not compete with that ever. They could go up there for 30, 40 years in the legislative branch and never learn the things I learned in the executive branch. And I mean, I'd say that's probably the biggest thing. The other one is, like you mentioned, I'm not afraid to fight. My opponents, I've seen their stump speeches. I've heard them a dozen times. I could recite them for you. They say that they're fighters, but they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to ask questions. And you see a lot of people asking, why haven't we gotten this report from the government that talks about UFOs, or why can't we get information that we want? And it's because the government is like a safe in Fort Knox, and the lock is the Nazi Enigma machine. You have to get access to that safe. You have to use mathematics and creativity and mathematical theory. And I am the Alan Turing of the executive branch. I know exactly how to ask the question to get the information we need. You have to go to the right person. You have to ask this specific question that pulls that information out. And a lot of people don't know these things. So we're probably running out of time. I'm talking too long here.
We are. So if people want to follow along then with your campaign, and we hope we'll talk to you again soon, but where can they find you?
So maybe the best place would be Facebook. You just look up David Matthews for Congress. We have a lot of really good videos on there. I've done a lot of speeches where you can learn more about me and learn more about my policies, my platform. Our website's davidmatthewsforcongress.com. We have Instagram and X and Truth Social, and one of my volunteers did TikTok. I've never had TikTok, but we got a TikTok. But I highly recommend people watching our YouTube videos because when I talk, I don't talk like I think most really any people running for office talk. I talk about ways to improve American lives, and I bring up information that not many people know, and I think your viewers will find that interesting.
David Matthews, candidate for Congressional District 2, that election is on August 11th, if I'm keeping up, and they haven't changed it because it's changed a million times. It's coming up. I hope everyone will get out, check out your website, and get out and vote. People, this matters. It's not going to be fun because it's in the middle of summer, and I bet everybody's taking their last minute vacation, but just go a day late. Go vote. Thank you so much for running and for being here today. Keep us posted, and good luck.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. JP, do you need a few minutes to?
No, we got about 10 seconds before we go to break.
Oh,
I thought you
perfect.
were going to say 10
No,
minutes.
sorry, 10 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
When we come back, Abs, what you want to do?
Well,
I want to shoot.
should we talk about Bill Maher
Yeah, I was about to say
and his vote being in play?
Yeah.
Because there's anyway,
Yeah.
that's a fascinating conversation.
John Fetterman too.
Yeah.
And
Let's
Bill
do it.
Maher likes JD Vance. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, we're going to talk about it.
Okay. Radio Theater. We'll be back.
Fat. So your lean body weight is 105 pounds or 100. Let's just say 100.
Okay.
So you should be eating somewhere between 90 and 160 grams of protein a day,
Wow.
depending on your athletic level and what your goals are. Again, if you're trying to build muscle, build strength, you're going to eat a little on the higher side. Protein, the only reason I say don't eat too much of it is because you're just consuming calories that aren't helping you,
Yeah.
because your body will pass it right through if it's not using it. It will not store protein in your muscles at all. It stores amino acids, which are from the protein, but it doesn't store it. So you're not gaining anything by overindulging. Like people that go out and eat a 35-ounce T-bone. Well, 8 ounces of that protein is going to help you. The other's going to get passed along, but you're going to get the calories out of it. So you're not getting the
Choose
benefit.
wisely.
Yeah.
Make every decision you make about food have a reason. In other words, I'm going to eat this,
Good.
number one, because I'm hungry, obviously, but number two, because I know this will help my body do X, whatever that may be. Or if I eat too much protein at one meal, I'm going to make sure I balance that out with a little more carbs at the next meal. Or I'm going to try to always eat them together.
Yeah.
You always want to have a little protein and a little carbs, a little bit of vegetables. And that's where the simplistic stuff, we were talking about chicken and rice. Yeah, chicken and rice is great. You can do a bodybuilding diet and they'll eat mounds of chicken and piles of rice. They'll lose a lot of body fat, but their macronutrients are all shut up. Their hormone levels are all jacked up. They're dehydrated because they're not getting enough, this and that. And so just balance what we were taught, but not the food pyramid, because it's all wrong.
Yeah, that was.
Everybody knows that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
even the new one, it's pretty terrible.
Can you tell everybody what you were telling us before we started the podcast about dark chocolate?
Yes, I can. It's a pretty well-known fact, actually, that dark chocolate actually causes your body to produce more stem cells on its own.
See?
So dark chocolate is good.
We knew it.
Yes.
We knew.
Can't help
All
us.
you need is a.
So I have 2 bars in my purse.
That's right. You need a king size bar and a big jar of peanut butter. No, I'm just kidding. But
that sounds
the
really
dark
good.
chocolate, they say, I believe it's 1.5 ounces a day is what they recommend. Ounce to 1.5 ounces of dark chocolate multiple times a week will increase your body's ability to produce stem cells, which is cellular regeneration and healing and a lot of other things. Speeds
Wow.
all those processes up. Yes, dark
Yes.
chocolate for the win.
I got
100%.
one. It's literally in my purse.
Yeah. Because
Which
you
works
just went
out
to the
great for me
store.
because I've always preferred dark chocolate over anything. I
Yeah,
used to sneak and
you
eat
have.
semi-sweet dark chocolate chips by the handful.
But then you broke my heart and told me that Reese's had a Reese's peanut butter cup that had dark chocolate. Now it doesn't
I
exist.
don't think they make it anymore. They used to make dark chocolate peanut M&Ms, and they were good, but I
Well,
can't
we can
find
make
them
our
either.
own.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure
we
Bobby
can.
can find a recipe.
I can make you.
Yeah.
I can make you some
He can
chocolate.
like do on his little infographic.
So
I can do that.
because we obviously we're going to talk again.
Sure.
Wait. We can't go yet.
Okay, no. But I've got business questions because I want to close on that. But go. So you
Okay,
go.
I got one more.
Yeah,
one
absolutely.
Okay.
One more question.
I told you she asked great questions.
Good.
47, 48. I think I just turned 48.
You did.
It's pretty bad when you don't remember. I
You
get
did.
it, though. I'm the same way.
78.
Because I think
Yeah, you'd
Yeah,
be 48.
yeah. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm getting older. What does working out look like for somebody like me that's also like going through the pause and
It's a great question.
yeah.
What I preach mostly is I don't do, and here's the reason that I say this. I did heavy cardio for many years. And I mean like swimming over a mile at a time, running for miles in the heat.
Sounds terrible.
It was great. It was fantastic, but I
Sounds
never
awful.
made any real physical progress. My fat weight always stayed right about the same.
Okay.
My lean weight stayed about the same, and I was basically burning up the calories. So what I do with people is I integrate a lot of walking. If you can walk between 20 and 40 minutes a day, you're beating 97% of the people out there.
Okay.
Now, when I say walk, I don't mean we're taking a casual stroll, holding hands, looking at the ducks at the lake. I mean walk. I'm talking about walking at a pace where you can carry on a conversation, but it's a winded conversation. You're pushing it. So walking is a great exercise. You can do it anywhere, anytime, rain, shine. All you need is a pair of shoes. And then I integrate a lot of resistance training in weights. Now, that doesn't have to mean you have a $10 million gym that you go work out at. You can do it at home. You can do it with sandbags. You can do it with bags of bricks. You can do it with anything. But resistance training is proven beyond a shadow of a doubt as we get older to increase bone density, which is very important as we get older because of osteoporosis, especially as a female, and as well as injury down the road. The more bone density you have, the less likely you are to break your hip and fall, or fall and break your hip, or whatever that scenario we'll never know the answer to is. So not only does building muscle increase your metabolism, give you more energy, give you strength, as we get older, we're more prone to we don't get head colds, we get major problems like cardiac issues, pneumonia, cancer, things like that. Statistically speaking, the more muscle mass you have, the more likely you are to survive those ordeals because your body has more to pull from than if it didn't. And you're also getting stability of the muscle, the strength to do the things that you want. So I recommend for anybody 40 years old or 80 years old, I would say 20 to 30 minutes of walking cardio 2 to 3 times a week, and at least 1 to 2 sessions of weights between 30 minutes and 40 minutes. That's it.
Is that a full body weight session?
You can, or you can do a split.
You can
As we
split.
get once we hit 50, 45 to 50, our recovery time changes. So if you worked out when you were young, that's us, that's me. If you worked out when you were younger, we used to work out like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Remember, we'd always do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'd do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that was my weights. Well, when you're younger, you can get away with that. Your recovery time is typically, by recovery, I mean the amount of time it takes for the muscle to rebuild after the training. It's not the working out that builds muscle. It's the recovery that builds the muscle and the nutrition. So when we're younger, that recovery time is between 24 and 48 hours as a rule. So you can get away with 3 times a week. Once we hit 40, it turns into more like 72 to 96 hours.
What?
So,
Bobby.
yes.
No.
Here is the trick. This is worth your time right here.
Back.
If you are over 50, you should train more intensely, less often. Okay?
Okay.
So if you're training, let's say you're breaking it into doing a lower body routine where you're doing squats and deadlifts and all those things for our booties and all those things, and then another day we're doing an upper body routine, okay? On that lower body, you're going to want to do that Monday, and you're not going to want to touch lower except for walking until at least Friday.
Okay.
On upper body, you can do them a little more often because the smaller muscle groups tend to recover faster if you want to, but a good range is somewhere about Tuesday, Saturday, because we're making sure we're giving ourselves those 72 to 96 hours.
And hello. So we don't know if you pay attention to Bill Maher, but he's a pretty massive voice on the left. And the last probably 2 or 3 years, he's begun asking extremely interesting questions. And now, and he will call out Democrats to their faces, which also takes great courage. So Bill Maher came out this weekend, I guess it was this weekend, and said something very interesting. And let us know if you heard this.
JD Vance, you're open. Your vote is up for grabs.
Yes, my vote is in play because it can't be Trump running. So I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. And DSA, again, they say things like, takeover of key industries, government. That's communism. There is a definition.
By the way, Trump's doing that too.
Of course. Yes.
And to a degree that we haven't seen any other president, Democrat or Republican, do.
Great. That's crazy too.
He's got a piece of intel,
Right.
a piece of the AI company.
He treats everything like it's a real estate deal.
So of course the interviewer had to, but Trump. But I think, and for all of Bill Maher's faults, I mean, avowed militant atheist. He's still a militant atheist, but he will talk to anybody and everybody. He had Charlie Kirk on his show. He's went and had dinner with Trump. He had Trump's autograph a list of every mean name he'd call Bill Maher. Like, he will talk to you, even though we disagree vehemently on a lot of things. But I do think it's interesting from a political standpoint that even the Bill Mahers of the Democratic Party, and then John Fetterman, we also played in the montage, talking about potentially leaving the party. My question is, will that be enough, or are the radicals just going to overrun it anyways? And the common sense Democrats, even them leaving, won't stop it. Or maybe the Bill Maher's leaving will make it worse, because then there's nobody to stop it. But I just thought it was very interesting, because if it takes Bill Maher to be like, this is not okay, what the heck's going on, then that means it's bad.
I find it interesting that the group, first of all, this is big, number one. Number two, I find it interesting that the people who are constantly saying Nazi, Nazi, Nazi are the same people taking up the moniker that actual Nazis did in Germany back in World War II. The Democratic Socialist. That's what they called themselves. When they were in World War II in Hitler's Germany.
Wait, hold on. That was a rhetorical.
Yeah.
I heard you, but what?
Think about it. That's what
They called themselves?
They were the Democratic Socialist. They were the National Socialist Nazi. And they believe the exact same things as the Democratic Socialists believe. Exactly.
Yeah, Hitler was elected. But of course, it leads to no elections. But yeah.
So do we call ourselves the Democratic Socialists here just because it sounds better? But it means the same thing?
It's exactly the same thing.
Because if they called themselves communists, then they know there's a law.
Now, some of them are brave enough to say that they're communist. But think about these people like Hassan Piker, who's not holding back anymore. And so what Bill Maher is seeing is what they're not saying, even though he said, I know what my eyes see. Quit telling me I can't see what I'm seeing. And so what we're seeing is the exact same playbook with the exact same language, and the National Socialist, who here call themselves the Democratic Socialist, but it's awfully close to what the people who were called Nazis called themselves, and they're doing it here.
So the Communist Control Act of 1954, best known as the Communist Act, declared the Communist Party USA to be part of a conspiracy to overthrow the U.S. government. It sought to strip the Communist Party of many legal rights and privileges passed during the Cold War. Although it has never been formally repealed, most of the key provisions are considered unenforceable because later court decisions strengthened constitutional protections for political speech and association. The Smith Act made it a crime to advocate the violent overthrow of the U.S. government or organize a group to do so. The Internal Security Act of 1950 required communist organizations to register. So we have all these laws that could protect us. I mean, the Communist Act, could we not do a Sharia Act or a Muslim Act or a Islamismist, whatever that word was, act?
Well, they're saying that that's what they could use to get Mamdani out of office. And that's true, they could. And okay, so it's unenforceable, but then do something about it and make it enforceable. But I'm blown away that they're using the same language to describe themselves as actual Nazis did.
Right. And in 1954, that would have gotten you thrown out of the country or
and now
shut
it's
down.
like, oh, that's just ridiculous. Well, is it? Because this is who they are and this is what they say they want to do. So you've got the Islamist over here and you've got the Democratic Socialist over here, and it is going to be a hurricane, a hellish hurricane, if we don't do something about both of these groups of people who want for the destruction of our country, or destruction, if you want that too.
That sounds more fun. Which one is using the other, or are they both using each other?
They're using each other.
Which one will win?
Well, the communists, there are people who still understand what communism is. And because we haven't become educated, we didn't educate our kids about it. We were slightly educated about it. This seems like, oh, that's still so outrageous. Meanwhile, you've got Muslims who are doing the same kinds of things, and we're just letting them because they scare us more. But the communists, that Joseph McCarthy stuff, y'all are outraged over nothing. I think it's both. I think they're both going to use each other. Right now, Islam's winning. But the bigger takeaway for me is not just the name and who they are, but it's also that somebody like Bill Maher, combined with somebody like John Fetterman, are saying, no, that's big.
Yep.
This is when things could change, because if either thing gains a foothold, and this is gaining a foothold, Islam is gaining a foothold far more quickly than communism is. But it's out there. Disaster. Unless somebody gets on there and says, no, throw them all out. Deport and then throw these people out.
Well, here's the red pill. Bill Maher is stronger on Islam than Republicans are. A lot of Republicans, I'll say, not all.
Oh.
Because here was one of the quotes from his interview. He said, Democrats are cowardly. Their party is being taken over now. Every day I hear about a new radical. When we're cheering for the Intifada, I'm out.
Ooh.
So he is stronger on the Islam problem. I mean, it's in his party. But then a lot of Republicans are. And Republicans don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Here's my question, though, with the split in terms of the quote common sense or the more old school Democrats like Fetterman and Bill Maher. There, we talk about on the Republican side, there's going to be a split on the ticket from the sense of the new GOP, so to speak. A lot of what the Seth Dillons and others would call the woke right. Like, there will be a woke right candidate in the Republican Party. Then there will be a establishment or more of a MAGA Trump part of the Republican Party that will run for president. Like, there's going to be a bit of a split, because there is a split moving forward. I feel like there's going to be that on the Democratic side too, of a John Fetterman like president of, I'm not with the communism and all of that, but then there's going to be a Zohran Mamdani type. There's going to be an AOC type. And obviously, I think Gavin Newsom's the front runner. You have to pick which side he goes on. But I unfortunately am not confident enough to say that the radical candidate would not win the Democratic primary, because nationwide, I would like to think that, it's just a New York problem. It's just a Portland problem. It's just, I don't know, because I think that there are a lot of Democrats who feel the way that Bill Maher is feeling, but they're just not going to vote. I feel like they're just not going to vote in the Democratic primary. And I feel like a radical AOC type or a Zohran type may win the Democratic primary, because they can promise all the sweets of socialism. And then when you have a rock back and forth sort of system where it's Republican, Democrat for the most part, and people don't want to vote Republican, and then they just don't vote at all, then that gives way to a radical Democrat to come in. That's what I'm worried about, is if there's enough of a split to where the common sense Democrats would say, no, I'm not, and I'm voting for somebody who is against that on our side, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I don't know if there's enough nationwide support behind getting rid of the communism on the Democratic side that it won't give them that candidate.
I had a very terrifying moment this morning getting ready. I usually don't watch the news in the morning, but Jared had the news on, and Andrew Cuomo, Lord have mercy, he was back on the TV and he was talking about crypto stuff, but somehow they started talking about the New York governor putting a 1-year moratorium on data centers. And she asked, it was on Maria's show, she asked him what he thought about that. And he kind of totally skipped the whole answer, acute answer on that, and went to this far left wing, progressive communist wing that's wanting to take over the Democrats. And I sat there and I was like, Andrew Cuomo, if he ran today, would be a breath of fresh air.
Oh my word.
And that's a terrifying thought. He called himself a moderate Democrat. Just 6 years ago, we were like, you are baddie. No. I mean, he went down in flames. And now here we are, you push the red line and of what seems normal. And then suddenly you have somebody like Andrew Cuomo that you're like, wait, I could do that. I could handle that one. Same thing with Bill Clinton. Like there are times where I go, can we just go back to the Clinton Democrat days? Yep. I would take all that scandal any day over what we're dealing with now.
And then what happened in the mayor's race? Cuomo got ran over.
Yeah. So we're in a weird spot. And if we don't pull it together real soon, it's not going to be pretty.
No.
Because we're watching the fallout. You talk about elections. I mean, and it's just like what we talked about the other day. This is the whole plan, the project the Muslim Brotherhood put together to take over city councils, to run for state elected offices, to take over county commissions, to take over the police force. Then they change the laws and they have the ability to enforce the laws, and we are screwed.
And you said that name was the Muslim Project, wasn't that
It's
the
called
name
the
of it?
Project,
The
and it was
Project.
written in the 1980s by the Muslim Brotherhood.
Thank you. I wrote that down last week, but I forgot to go look it up.
Tommy Tuberville talked about it on the Senate floor. I didn't know it was actually a thing, but it is an official thing. And he dug into the, God, we really should play that clip. It's really good, digging into the rape gang inquiry in the UK, which I was a little frustrated because I'm like, just talk about what's happening in America. There's plenty here. But I think his point was, this will be here before you know it.
Yeah.
And we're all acting like this is normal or it's okay. It's wild to listen to his whole speech. It was really good.
There's a lot to keep up with, Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about these issues and you kind of remember our parents talking about communism, and you would have thought that it would be gone by now. But we also have to be careful. This is the other part of it, is we think communism is just in the Democratic Party, but their great superpower is hiding. So it's all around us. And even though Islam is winning right now, I'm just thinking back to The Naked Communists by Cleon Skousen, and I'm thinking they invaded everywhere, including churches. And we haven't even talked about the weird stuff going on in churches. It's been a while since we've talked about Big Eva and their influence here, because there is an influence here.
I have to think about that one, Abs.
But as you were talking, I'm like, oh, it really is all around us. But we have hope, and that's good. Okay?
Never black pill.
Oh, can we please play Never Have I Ever?
Would you rather walk to work in heels or drive to work in reverse?
Reverse.
Heels.
Heels are. She was Miss America, Miss Alabama. Of course she'd choose heels.
I can't. You don't want me to reverse here. I would die on the way.
I would die in heels.
Would you pick me up going in reverse? Would you pick me up if I was struggling?
Gosh, that does make me nervous. Back right over you.
Yeah.
What was the story of Allison walking out of her house and ate it on her stairs and spilled water everywhere?
Oh yeah, that
that's
Jared told
such
us
a good
at
story.
Christmas.
We were going to Kay Ivy's mansion for a Christmas party, and I was taking forever to get ready, and I had my heels on and my new dress and my little fur stole, and I had a cup of water. Man, hit those stairs, fell so hard, water everywhere. That's why I don't wear heels.
I won't say what your husband said on air, but it was funny.
It was very funny.
Oh, we're pulled up in the car. That's funny.
Okay, I do one more. Would you rather be able to take anything back that you say or hear any conversation that is about you?
Oh, take back anything I say.
A lot of people don't want to hear
Please.
that.
No.
No, I'm taking it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just ignorance is bliss, people. Ignorance is bliss. Tomorrow we have stuff.
We got us.
We got us.
We got a show.
And we'll be back then. Y'all have a great afternoon. Make good choices and stay on the right side.